Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Take a Breath with Alexis, and I'm Alexis, and I have pulmonary hypertension. So for all of you out there who don't know what pulmonary hypertension is the abnormally high blood pressure in your arteries that are in your lungs, so your pulmonary arteries. It is considered a rare disease. About one about 1 in every 200,000 people in the US has pulmonary hypertension. But I'm pretty sure more people have it, but they're just not being diagnosed correctly. I believe the last number I saw was that it takes about 4 years to get pulmonary hypertension diagnosed, because a lot of the symptoms that come with pulmonary hypertension look like a lot of other things. So for example, there's dizziness, there's shortness of breath, there's fatigue, you could have peripheral edema or like swelling in your ankles, and that can be a lot of things. And it can be a lot of things, so it's kind of hard to get diagnosed. So today I'm going to be sharing my journey with pulmonary hypertension with all of you. Pulmonary hypertension is kind of the reason why I started my channel. Like I said earlier, it's a rare disease, and if I can raise any kind of awareness about it so that we can get more research out there so that we can find a cure. There is no cure for this. It is a chronic disease. It's a progressive disease. It gets worse as you get older. There are lots of new drugs out there that make a difference and are definitely changing the quality of people's lives, the longevity of people's lives, but there's still no cure. So hopefully this video is like one step further, will spark somebody's interest to later research and like later find a cure for it, or it'll just spread some knowledge. So I was born with a congenital heart defect. When I was 4 years old, I had surgery to repair it, and everything was fine. There were no leaks. Everything looked great. But after the surgery, I remained symptomatic. And I remained that way for years. And my mom and dad would constantly tell the doctors, like, hey, somebody thinks something else is wrong. Like, she's still getting tired faster than the other kids. She still has low energy. And the doctors cracked it up to me doing all of those things for attention. And like, if you know me, that is completely out of character for me to fake being tired to get attention. So finally my mom demanded that they do absolutely everything they can to figure out what is wrong with me. And they did a right heart catheterization, and it was there where they discovered I had peripheral pulmonary artery stenosis, and that led me to develop pulmonary hypertension. So as a kid, because I've had it so long, like literally that happened, I got diagnosed when I was 7. So I've lived with pulmonary hypertension for like 22 years now, so I don't know like life without it. So unfortunately, like getting tired quickly, shortness of breath, not having the same amount of energy as other people my age, all of that is normal to me. So on the flip, like, yeah, it's kind of sad that I couldn't like run around like other kids of my age, but it's also like I got used to it. Like I knew how far to push myself, when I needed to rest, all of that. Also, when I was a kid, there were no drugs for pediatric patients, so I got to live a pretty normal life because I only had to take like a couple of pills. And yeah, so like the medication process didn't impact me, because I know that the medications do affect a lot of people with pulmonary hypertension, because there's such a wide variety. There's pills, there's nebulizers, there's sub-Q pumps, and then there's IV pumps that like deliver the medication like straight to your heart. So I know all of those impact people, but I'm really fortunate, I guess, where I didn't have to deal with much of that as a kid. That came later on in life. So pulmonary hypertension has definitely impacted my life as an adult. Like at 7 years old, when I first got diagnosed with it, like I would have never thought of like how many ways I would have to, not ways, but how many times I would have to like compromise, or just how much pulmonary hypertension would like impact my life. So yes, as I got older, my doctors added more prescriptions and some prescriptions and medications that really helped me. They didn't impact my life too bad. Like the biggest kind of pain in the butt I have is Tyvaso, which it's like a nebulizer and you have to do it every 4 hours, 9 breaths. And because you have to do it then, that means you have to take it everywhere with you. So sometimes it's like an inconvenience dragging that with me, because you have that and then you have your oxygen, and then you have your purse. So I am a bag lady, at least have 3 bags with me most of the time. I'll say definitely had the biggest impact on my life, and I still like, sometimes even to this day bothers me, is the oxygen. I think I was 23 where my pressures kind of skyrocketed. Like they went from their normal for me, which is around like the 50s, and it shot all the way up to the hundreds. Which in a normal person without pulmonary hypertension, the pressures in your pulmonary arteries should be at 25. So it was then when my doctor told me, like, I had oxygen. I had oxygen at home for a while, but he was just like, you know, wear it at home when you're watching TV and when you sleep and stuff. You don't have to wear it out. But then he was like, yeah, so in the cath lab we saw that the oxygen, like your lungs, your pulmonary arteries really like oxygen. It dilates the vessels nicely, which allows the pressures to drop. So I'm really going to have you wear it like all the time. And I was devastated. Like I was devastated because I was only 23. Like, you know, I was in college at the time. Like I was like, how am I supposed to navigate my life with like this oxygen tank? You know, like how am I supposed to go to college? Like how am I supposed to date somebody with this thing? Like it was just like so mind-boggling. And I think another thing, which I didn't think about then, but I kind of reflect on and think about now, is that up until that point, me having this illness and me having this illness has kind of been not secret, but I had control over who I could tell it to because I looked otherwise normal. So, you know, I didn't necessarily have to tell everybody that, you know, I have this health issue because I look normal, so I could just let them think whatever they want to think. But now that I have oxygen on, everywhere I go, everybody's going to know something is not right with her. And, you know, I felt like I just had all my baggage just out there for everybody to see. So it was a process. It was a process. It still is a process. Like I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty depressed after. And you know I'm depressed because my mom, like right after we got out of the hospital, she's like, let's go to Disneyland, because you guys know I love Disney. And I said no. So yeah, I was pretty depressed. But you know what? I thank God that I have such a good support system around me with my friends and my family who have really been supportive and encouraging for me with me in this whole wearing the oxygen thing. And you know, I finally was like, you know what, this is a fact of my life. Like this is what I have to do in order to better myself. It's what my body needs, and I'm just gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it. So the first thing I did was I decided to like name my oxygen tank. And her name, she's a she. Her pronouns are she and her. And her name is Stella the Tank. And sometimes we get along and sometimes we really don't get along. But she's like my best friend. She's my best friend, and she pretty much goes everywhere I go. And after I kind of like figured out how to make it work for me, it became less and less of an obstacle. So I just have this personality type where when I set my mind to do something, typically I'm going to do it. And so even with this diagnosis of pulmonary hypertension, even with having to wear the oxygen as much as possible, you know, I was like, I still got stuff that I want to do, and I'm not going to let this stop me. So I've always kind of like reframed my thinking to like, instead of I can't do it, I'm just like, how am I going to make this work for me? So after I had graduated high school, I actually took a gap year, and I was like, oh, I was thinking about being a nurse, but my mom is a nurse and she is perfectly healthy, and she comes home exhausted from that. So I quickly realized that, you know, probably being a nurse is a little too physical of a job for me. But then I thought of other jobs. I knew that I wanted to work in medicine, and I was just like, what can I do that still has like patient care aspects but isn't quite as physical as being a nurse? And I was like, cardiac sonographer, or also known as an echo tech. So I went to school for that. I figured out how I could have a small tank for when I'm in the classroom or in the lab. When I did start college, I didn't wear oxygen to school for like the first week. Like, I literally brought it with me, never put it on, nobody even asked me about it, and then like finally I like stood up in the front of the class and was like, I have pulmonary hypertension, and I have to wear oxygen, and my oxygen's name's Stella, and you know, this is us, and whatever. And like the class was like, oh, like we never even noticed. But you know, I had to do that because not really for the comfort of other people, but I had to kind of do it for myself. And then when it was time to do clinicals, like my parents bought me a small oxygen concentrator so that I can put it in a backpack so I can wear it in clinicals. And basically I made it work, and I'm currently working and doing that position now, and I'm wearing my oxygen doing that. I also started my Polynesian dance journey at that same time. I probably went a whole year dancing, which is really bad, but without wearing oxygen. And I finally kind of like literally like broke down and told my hula sisters, like, I wear this oxygen and I didn't want to wear it because blah 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 blah, I thought you guys were gonna like me, and blah. And they're like, why would you feel that way? Like, you need to wear it. Like, it's gonna make you better. Like, it's for you. You know, it's just like somebody told me, it's like if somebody has an insulin pump, like nobody's gonna think twice about them and their insulin pump, or if they have to give them shots of insulin. So like, obviously you're wearing the oxygen because of you need it. So yeah, so I would say from when I first started having to wear the oxygen to now, I'm way more comfortable wearing it. I do still have my moments. I think what just helps me cope with having a pulmonary hypertension, because pulmonary hypertension legit, like honestly, sucks. Because I didn't do anything to cause pulmonary hypertension to happen to me. Like my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she did everything that you were supposed to do. I didn't do anything, like, you know, I didn't do anything. So I definitely have my moments where I'm like, dang, this sucks. Like, this is so not fair. And I think that it's okay for me to have those thoughts because it's like totally true. But what I will say is that I don't like sit in those moments very long. You know, I kind of like, dang, this sucks. But you know what? Like, I find a way to flip the thought, and I think about what is going right, like what I do have in my life. So like I said, like I have this loving, super supportive family. I have amazing friends. Despite having this illness, I have a pretty good job, and I have a passion, a true passion for Tahitian dance and despite having this illness, I still participated in it, and they really, dances helped me to really accept like my oxygen, because I always, even when I first started, I kind of looked at it like, oh, like it's a bad thing, like don't look at me. But all of like the dance community, like the Tahitian dance community, have like completely, I felt like, opened their arms and like embraced me, and that really helped me to like not necessarily look at me wearing an oxygen as a bad thing. It helped me to look at it as like, you know, there's not a whole lot of girls out there who can do what I do with an oxygen tank. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me feel like I'm special. Special instead of being like different in a bad way. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Like I've said everything that I can. So I'm going to link below, I'm going to link the Pulmonary Hypertension Association, which is full of information for all of those, for patients, for caregivers. If you want to learn anything about pulmonary hypertension, it's on there. Also, if you work on the medical field, I heard that they have free CME online classes on that website. So check it out. I'm also going to link below PH Aware, which is this amazing nonprofit organization who is trying to raise awareness to find a cure for pulmonary hypertension. I don't know. I kind of feel like this video is all over the place, but I just wanted to like kind of give you guys like a taste of just like a little bit of like me and my journey with pulmonary hypertension. And I wanted to start off pulmonary hypertension with like a boom. I'm gonna scoot closer, hopefully this works, but I even like did my makeup in periwinkle, pulmonary hypertension's colors, periwinkle, and then I also have this sweatshirt that says Pulmonary Hypertension Warrior. So I probably will be wearing this sweatshirt. I also have a different shirt. I'll be wearing these like all month, so yes, I might be wearing the same might be wearing the same thing, but it's because it's Pulmonary Hypertension Month. Okay, so the subscriber I'm shouting out this week is Carrie Scurry. Here is her Instagram if you would like to check it out. But Carrie and I met in college. We were classmates. We became fast friends, and she's literally been one of the biggest cheerleaders I've ever met. She's been so supportive of everything, and we have that friendship where we can go months without seeing each other, but like when we finally do link up, it's like no time has gone by. Like it's like like it just feels like we just saw each other, you know. So Carrie, you are amazing. Thank you for being my #1 fan. She's literally commented. She literally comments at the end of the secret word at the end of every video, and she leaves comments. She's usually the first person to comment. Sometimes she's the only person to comment. But this one's for you, Carrie. I love you. So I guess, you know what? I feel like I'm like completely and totally rambling on, so I'm going to cut the video right now. Our secret word for the end of the video today is going to be hope, because I feel hopeful, and I have hope that soon we are going to find a cure for this disease, this horrid sucky disease. I don't like it. So maybe comment down below something you do that gives you hope. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for all of your support. I noticed last week we had six subscribers, which is amazing. It brings us to 27. I'm still impressed that you guys want to watch my videos, like honestly. But I am so thankful. I am so humbled. And so, thank you so much for watching my channel, watching my videos. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So also, don't forget to stop and take a breath with me. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!